Good day, traders. It's Chris Laurie, and I just really need to show you what happened in price action last night because there were some very, very favorable setups. But first of all, let's just, I guess the first thing we'll do is we'll look at the setup before we look at some of the fundamental details that are transpiring at the moment. But there, of course, we are seeing once again another rally in precious metals and gold in particular because of um, some substantial geopolitical instability in a number of regions. And as a result, we're seeing the US dollar moving to its own tune and rallying because of some items that we'll talk about in a few moments. But what I want to do first is I want to take you to the British pound here. This is a 60-minute chart. This is yesterday's price action. Looking earlier on in the week, we're looking at this downswing here. And price came down to the previous day's low in the 10-day moving average, and it rejected the low and stayed in the range for the majority of the day with some quite choppy price action. But if you still traded the daily low, you still would have done quite well even among the chop. But we continued up on the day, and we moved into yesterday, July the 12th, in this consolidation. And if you pull your Fibonacci's from this high to the double bottom low, then you will see that as price moved into July the 12th, we were consolidated, capped by the 62%. And let me show you what happened here. You see this spike that happened up here to the 62% retracement? Well, it made an effort at the previous day's high. It spiked through the previous day's high and did not hold. Then, for one whole hour afterward, we saw price moving up and down within this small range. But if you were paying attention and if you were watching other currency crosses, for example, let's take you to the Japanese yen. The Japanese yen at the time, not looking at the daily chart, we are looking for this, the 60-minute chart. At the same time, let's have a look here. I'm going to show you something. This is the 7 a.m. GMT candle. At the same time, the Japanese yen had already started its rally. Let's go back to the British pound 60-minute chart. You see this candle right here? 6 a.m., 7 a.m., still rallying. All right, while the yen was rallying. Of course, there is a fundamental story there as well. But let's go over to the euro. This is a euro 30-minute chart. In the meantime, 7 a.m., the euro is falling while the British pound is still holding. Look at the euro testing the previous day high right here on this 30-minute chart. Look at the euro testing previous day high. Starts to move down on this 30-minute chart while the British pound makes efforts to try to hold and move above the previous day's high, which means trade me short. It says trade me short now, wait for upticks, and trade me short on upticks at or about 84.70. And I actually wanted to record this for your favor, but this was so good that I was actually working on multiple accounts to manage this trade, and was not able to do us that favor, but a recording would have been nice. Anyway, so we saw this struggle. So at or about 84.70, you want to try to get in. The higher the better. We're going to have a look at what this looks like on a smaller time frame. But look at this. This is why, okay, we're going to watch something now. This is why you take profit no matter how good this trade looks. This is why you take profit at least 30 pips, particularly on the pound. Now, the elasticity of the delay of the British pound alone should have got you 30 pips, should have made you confident enough to give you 30 pips. And I often get the question in class about how do you know whether the euro is leading or lagging, or does one consistently lead or lag the other? Well, there's no consistency. You just have to see it when it's happening. Now watch. This is why you take profit, because look what happened when price was moving up here, 10 a.m. GMT. Then we started to get our down moves, and look at the down moves indeed. Now, where are we? Testing what day's lows? Yes. Okay, testing the lows. 127% extension off the 162% bounce and a retracement. Now, here's where price is right now. So what should you do at this point? Well, the reason I'm here is to tell you what you should do. You can do this. Pull your Fibonacci's, wait for a bounce at the previous day's double bottom low at or about between this level and the 38% retracement, and with the possibility of trading it short, but we have to hope for a rally early on here. And let me show you, I want to take you back to this section right here with this volatility. Let me show you something. The British pound 5-minute chart, this is what it looks like. This is how it would have played on your nerves. We had a fall, a very nice fall from 70 to 20, 50 pips. Then price came all the way back. If you did not take profit by 50 pips, or 30 or 40 pips, then price came all the way back to 84.60 and change. $84.68, and then started its fall. Note the bounce at 8,400, 84.20, and in any event, stay away from this volatility. Take your profit. Get your butt out with profit. Don't try and hit home runs. You will lose. I want to show you something else. Let's clean this up a little bit. I want to show you the correlation between, you see these Fibonacci numbers from this swing, and this is the 38 and this is the 62. But let's get back to that. We had an interesting scenario yesterday with a weaker than expected trade deficit. The expectation was 65.5 billion roughly among some of the major financial institutions. Came at 63 billion, which is $2.5 billion differential, or let's say roughly 3% on the whole. So the trade deficit has pulled back by approximately 3%, which I guess warrants a strong dollar reaction. But the market had already not so much priced in, but the dollar had already been rallying through the European session before the report came out. And there's also some interesting things happening in Japan, where there are further reports that the Bank of Japan is about to hike rates, but the focus is more on the overnight call rate of 25 basis points. And so there's some speculation there, and there's a possibility of maybe in the next quarter that we could see an unwind in carry trades, which would cause a significant rally in the Japanese yen, because carry traders will be buying back yen. And we may want to look for that at or about the next quarter. As well, the US dollar, some of the US dollar positive move is potentially a result of, right now there is an 8 basis points inversion in the yield curve between the 10-year and the 2-year, and this lends itself to a potential rate hike, because an inversion of the yield curve is a somewhat of a forecast of a potential forthcoming recession, and therefore the market is pricing in potential further rate hikes by the Fed and US dollars rallying as flows move into the US dollars from lower interest bearing currencies. And I want to show you something here. Back to our chart. Let's just have a look at let's take this Fibo. By the way, you see the swing here? Price came down, rallied, 79% retracement, and is falling, which is a beautiful, beautiful retest. Those of you who have taken the class, have my manual, you've seen this before. Now, you see this high right here? Let's look at the number. Okay. See that high right there? The number is 26.79. You see this low right here? 26.74. That happens for a reason. Now let's look at the high here. 27.23. So how many pips are there between that high, approximately that low, and the high of the bounce off of that high from that low? There is 50 pips plus bounce off of that key level. All right, you should note that, note it, and keep it. Good information. We are looking here at the daily average true range right here, and it's in your manuals. We are seeing a decline in the range, which makes euro less desirable to trade. Currently, the range is actually quite small. It's at about, let's look here. We're at about 75 pips. 75 pips range, which is quite small. And I'd prefer to be trading something else right now. And I think that's about it. There's lots of things going on with euro yen and pound yen at the moment, and we could see an unwind here at some juncture. But this is that's a 60-minute chart. Let's see if we got a daily on here. No, we don't. I'm going to start looking for a top on this pound yen, and that's it for now, folks. Be careful out there. Go forth and multiply, and good luck with your trading.